All right.
That was horrible.
Is that what
started off rocky. And
That was really bad.
I had to keep committing because it was already there. But
Is that what Joe says now to
Joe
start the
does that
podcast?
all right. You don't listen to our podcast anymore?
I don't
you're
listen-
a dick.
I mean, come on.
I don't listen to Juan Epstein. So
Exactly. What was
I listened to the last one Epstein episode.
Which one today?
The Dilla one. I didn't get to the one.
The Dilla one. Well, that was the big cap stories. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
And
cool.
Tracy was on this one, right?
I do want to listen to Tracy.
I do wanna
one.
listen
Let's
to
not
Tracy.
plug his podcast. He doesn't listen to ours.
That's a
yeah,
good
but he
point.
still got a helping hand in ours, so he's still
Yeah.
plugging
Well, and Joe is such an idiot. He went on, I mean, granted, my wife's podcast is small, but he went on my wife's podcast and never plugged the podcast.
Of course not.
She was like, oh, I forgot to ask him about the podcast. I'm like, he didn't say anything? She was like, no. I was like, no.
Of course. For those that don't know by now, we have Peter Rosenberg here, our first ever friend of the show.
Thank you, the original friend.
Yeah.
You guys are a friend of my show.
Yeah,
the Joe
actually.
Budden podcast.
It's actually what we got. We're a spinoff of Juan Epstein.
You are a weird. It is a weird. He wouldn't count that, but those of us who are saying it is like a weird spin-off.
Somebody said that to me last week, and I was like, "Yo, it fucking is."
Well, yeah, he
We are
came
a
on
spinoff of Juan Ep.
and very directly he came on, and then the next week we were in the same studio that we do on Epstein doing this. It's like it's like all in the family.
And it was 1 year ago, like last week or so.
Congratulations, guys! A year.
I know,
you.
right?
And it is pretty cool, I have to say, from the beginning, watching it grow, because I remember the first few weeks it was like all exciting, and then I remember it was like the numbers are slowing down,
Yeah.
and I was like, chill, this is how it goes. It kind of like goes up and goes down, and now it's like sort of
And then
in a good spot.
Then we dissed Nikki and it went shot right back up.
Then it was like,
that's
we
right.
out ya.
Yeah, we really followed your blueprint. Is what we did.
Yo, you really did. That's what happened to me too.
The Peter Rosenberg School of Mageness.
That's how you do it. That's how you get made. You diss Nikki, then you get hot, and then that sustains, and then at some point something else will happen. Like Joe will like get in trouble in some way, and then it'll skyrocket again. Hopefully not getting in trouble, and then it will. You keep going up in levels. But congratulations, everyone! People love the show. I heard the live event was great and weird and crowded and
LePug. It was LePug.
and lit and repug.
Oh, is that the new one?
Yeah, well, it's
LePug.
new and old. Me and Rosenberg came up with that for, where did we go? A3C.
Yeah, we were like, it's gonna be. I was like, it's gonna be lit and repug. It's gonna be.
So fake, that's like fake lit?
No, because really a lot of things that are really lit.
I don't
are
understand
LePug.
your lingo.
Well, LePug is like, it's lit, but it's also like fucking ridiculous, but it's also lit.
Like, for example, every hip hop LA club night
LePug.
is LePug.
I don't like
What are they
LA
called again?
clubs.
Like Playhouse?
Yeah,
What's the other one?
Greystone.
Greystone.
Oh my God, I had to be carried out of Greystone last week.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. Don't
Oh, yeah, we just wanted to get the
don't jump
introductions.
the gun yet.
Yeah, we have Marty back. Last episode was just Joe and I, which, could have been either
was good,
really
though. I
bad or
enjoyed
really
it.
good. Yeah, people seem to like it. It was very much misogynistic a bit.
Yeah, of course it was.
No woman here to slow it down.
No, we had women in here, but they couldn't speak. So,
Oh my God,
Exactly.
even worse.
so Marty was not here, and it was right after Grammy weekend.
Yeah.
So we did not get the immediate. We thought Marisa was going to Toronto.
We all did.
She was talking 2 episodes ago that she could not wait to go to All Star and be with all the stars.
Yeah.
No,
So she lands in Toronto
Yep.
I did make it to Toronto.
and hits the podcast chat and says, "Unpacking, now I'm packing, going to LA."
What time of the day was it?
It's like 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was in the morning. I was
when you
certainly
called
at
us.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on our end, Rory, she calls us.
On FaceTime.
On FaceTime, calls Ebro, I think, or Deani,
Yeah,
or
I think it was- no,
or
Deani
you were
was with
Deani.
us, yeah.
So she calls Ebro, and she's like, "Hey, I'm
The
here."
guy that booked her to go
that
to
helped. He was paying for where you were staying, right?
Yeah.
You flew yourself.
We bought our flights and he paid for
and he paid
Okay,
for
okay, okay.
so you could do content for Blame Ebro.
Mm-hmm.
So she's up there and she's like, "Hey, Ebro, I have a situation. Someone wants to fly me out to LA. I think I'm leaving Toronto." Ebro doesn't get mad, surprisingly, probably because his expectations of you are so low. and he holds up the phone and she tells the whole room. There's like 5 of us in the room. Everyone says the same thing. Ebro a little quieter than me and Laura. We were both like, "Stay in Toronto." I said, I remember I was across the room. I was like, "Stay in Toronto. You said you were going to Toronto. I know LA will be great. Stay in Toronto. That's what your plan were. That's where Gia's going. That's where Deani's going. That's where Laura and Ebro are going. I'm the only one who's not going to All-Star. And she's the most in with me." I was like, build with the team.
Yeah.
This was the plan.
Yeah, that was the one thing he did say, like, you're awkward and like weird with people. Like, why don't you just build with them and finally not be awkward and weird and like, get close with them.
I thought that made sense.
Yeah.
It did.
It did.
But
that was the one part
we're
that
talking about Marisa here.
So she arrives to LA that night.
Oh, and I was lost at I'm now packing. I'm
Hold
going
on,
to LA.
can I tell my
Then
side of the
she went dark.
Oh, she went. Oh,
I have not spoken to her since.
Okay.
It was a lot happening in LA. I was tired. It was a long
So how did you instantly decide that even though you'd been planning on going to All-Star all that time, it was no longer worth it, and
Okay.
it was worthwhile to go to 3,000 miles to LA?
So here's the thing. So when we brought up the All-Star Weekend versus Grammy Weekend situation, it was a little bit annoying because it was like now we had to choose because usually they're not ever on the
usually
same
a week apart.
Yeah. So Ebro was like, look, I'll fly you guys out, talking to me and Gia, decide amongst yourselves what you think is more beneficial for Blame Ebro content and what would make more sense. If you guys want to split up, you could split up. One of you guys go to LA, one goes to Toronto. If you guys want to stay together, stay together. So I didn't want to go alone to anything. I don't like being alone that much. And Gia was more set on All-Star, and I was like, you know what, maybe it'll make more sense. We'll all be out there. I'll have more juice out there versus being alone in LA. I don't have as much juice to get into stuff to get social. So I agreed to Toronto. And then as time wore on, we had like a month and a half after we booked it, Rosenberg was like, yo, LA's going to be lit though. I'm excited. And I'm like,
So we're blaming this on Rosenberg.
no.
Of course, low key.
No, I'm just saying he was getting me like, I was damn, I really should have chose LA. Like I have always a better time in LA. I have friends in LA. Like I really should have went. And you can vouch, I was saying it multiple times. Like I really
She did the week or two before. She was like, "LA does sound better." Because then the week of, I'm going on Instagram and I'm posting the temperatures, and I'm like,
Yeah.
LA is the move. All-Star, you played yourself. It's all about
Exactly.
LA." And I believe I was right. I believe LA was the move that weekend based on weather alone. It was 90 the whole time we were there.
Yeah, and it was fucking beautiful. And I couldn't change my flight even if I wanted to because I had Air Canada. So it wasn't like I could get a credit to take Air Canada to Los Angeles. So I landed in Toronto and I got a text situation to get to LA. And I was like, you know what?
What's a text situation?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It doesn't even matter what that means. So it was an offer to get to LA, and I was like, you know what? I can go out there. I can get work done out there. First, before I accepted the offer, I hit up all my people in LA to make sure that there was stuff I could get for social out there. Found out there was a concert going on the next night that I got passes to immediately. Found out there was different parties. French was having a dinner. All these things. I was like, great. I can make good content for Ebro. This makes it worth my switching trip, and we have all our people out here already in Toronto. They'll cover social on
Which was still the wrong decision. And that day she FaceTimed me again. I think I ignored her.
You
and
did ignore me.
I just texted her and I said, I don't feel like talking about it, but I'm telling you, the move is to stay in Toronto. Yes, you wanted to go to All-Star. However, you need to show the people you work with, particularly Ebro, who looks out for you and has the chance to, moving forward, do more for you. You
Yep.
don't know what, to prove to him that you're committed. Because even though Ebro really likes Marisa and he thinks she's very talented and he thinks she's very smart, I know he does not yet trust your
Judgment.
your judgment.
Yep.
And so I thought she made a bad decision. I was like, this is who you committed to. You should rock out with them and you should build with Diani and Gia and, have a little girl camaraderie but she did not listen.
Well, our listeners could have seen that coming.
Yeah.
This is
Of
not the
course.
first decision that's been of question
Questionable.
Nope. It's
on this
not.
podcast. All right. So you now land in LA.
Right. We're going to skip over most of the details, but in
No.
the end,
You can't skip over most of the
Skip over
details.
I can. Yes, I can.
We don't want to hear about French's dinner. We want to hear
It was
about
a very nice
the
dinner,
text
by
that
the
was
way.
sent.
It doesn't matter, but in the end, I ended up getting some great content. I got it reposted on Baller Alert.
Okay, but what about the reason you went out there?
We don't need to discuss that.
I thought you were going to discuss some of what...
In our pre-meeting
in our
that we
said-
had.
I was like, all right, guys, no one talk about what happened.
Yeah, no, you said you were like, I'll explain that something repug happened without giving all the details. Weren't you going to say? You ended up in a situation that was not even worth your while to go to in the first place.
Yeah, but it was very interesting.
I'm sure you learned a lot.
I did learn. I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
I learned that that's not somewhere I'd belong.
Are you saying you had a...
Epiphany?
Yeah, well, don't go as far as epiphany because then we're going to hold you to it if it was an epiphany.
No, that is an epiphany, and never again. I promise. There was another... I'll never again.
So if this person ever texts you again for a fly out, you are going to reply with no.
Rory's so black for saying Texas like that, like the state of Texas.
Oh, sorry.
You
And again, I want to make it so clear before people roast me about blah, blah, blah. Like,
You're not saying anything. They can't roast
I'm
anything.
just saying,
Yeah, what's
like,
the roast?
if this person was like in Wisconsin or like fucking North Carolina or Miami, I wouldn't have gone. The only reason I accepted was because I wanted to be in LA for the rest of the weekend, and I did that, and I worked or whatever. So I just want to make that clear.
So I told her when I saw her the next day, the first day, basically we were there, I saw her at the show and I like kind of pulled her aside and was like, I really think it was a bad decision. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be shitty to you. I'm glad you're out here working. She was at the concert getting social. Now mixed in with getting social. And when we say getting social.
No, I wasn't. I was being very...
No, because when we say getting social, of course, we're talking about her doing social media stuff.
Yeah,
But-
I'm on Ebro's site now. I'm trying to find
No.
the Grammy.
I was doing Instagram,
okay,
Snapchat,
okay.
Twitter.
So it'd be Blame Ebro Instagram? Mm-hmm. It would be on there?
Yeah, a ton of shit.
Okay, so we'll go. Rory will go back, I'm sure, and look. Mm-hmm. But you have to understand, was he even on the concert or was he just there?
Who? He was just there. Well, he was a special guest.
Ty Dolla $ign was at the concert.
Yay!
So it was Ty?
He no.
Okay,
That's not the
Ty.
reason she was there.
Okay.
But I'm sure it was a bonus.
Yeah,
Did you know he was going to show up at the concert?
I did not know.
So Ty Dolla $ign shows up and I see her and she's like hovering awkwardly by Ty Dolla $ign as he's doing red carpet, and I go, she's like, hey, did you see Ty? And I'm like, I see him. She said, did you talk to him? I was like, no, not yet. I'll talk to him when I talk to him. She's like, oh, well, I talked to him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so if you talk to him, why are you still hovering about? If you
Leave me alone.
if you already talked to him, why are you hovering about?
Anyway, I saw him this weekend as well. He's on tour right now with Future for the Purple
Don't
Rain
skip
tour.
past the conversation we had.
I just want to say that I love Ty.
You really have to say that on this fucking podcast? There's no fucking way the audience here does not know that you love Ty Dolla $ign. You've even convinced Joe to fucking love Ty Dolla $ign.
That is true.
Now, by the way, I love Ty Dolla $ign as an artist.
who doesn't love Ty Dolla $ign?
And he's a great guy. But so I say to her, and this was, I think, maybe the most serious conversation we had, Rory. I was like, Marisa, you're actually a cool person.
I am pretty cool.
Why do you want to be stalkery? I was like, you're being weird. You're hovering. He already knows you. He already saw you. In fact, he likes you. Your favorite artist who you're most obsessed with, right? Rory, who's your favorite artist, like, ever?
My favorite artist ever?
Or like in the conversation. Someone who's in the conversation.
Let's just say Jay-Z, just for theory.
Exactly. It's an easy one to say because all of us could easily agree we would probably fan out and want to right and do whatever he asked. If he was like, come to this thing, we'd be like, okay. But if I knew, honestly, even at the level at which I know Jay-Z, once I see him and have a little exchange with him, I'm going to try to have an exchange with him. If I see him, I'm going to make sure he sees me and I'm going to say what's up to him. And that's it. And
I was in an elevator with him and Beyonce. Not a pun. I really was, and absolutely nothing happened.
You didn't say a word?
I swear to God.
Did you say a word?
I was with Ninth Wonder, and he introduced me, and I thought I said something, but apparently I didn't say anything. In my head, we had a fucking great exchange.
I didn't even know you were tight with Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, Ninth is a good friend.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. When was this?
2011.
So random.
This was when him and Fonte did that tour, and it was at BB King's.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, long time.
So, and of course,
she was pregnant. I saw a pregnant Beyonce.
Wow.
She was really pregnant.
She was really pregnant.
So you probably have like all types
TMZ
of good
confirmed.
vibes surrounding you.
Yeah.
Like the pregnant bee, she was probably glowing.
Yeah, of course. Well, and he probably added so much to the pregnancy and the health of the child.
In my mind, I Dapto said a great witty joke. He laughed. I rubbed Beyonce's stomach. You know, the whole
Gave
thing.
a little kiss.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
I actually dapped him one time and then touched my elbow. It was amazing.
He touched your elbow?
Yeah, after I dapped him. I met him twice. He was cool.
So he dapped you with one hand.
Yeah, and then he was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, bye.
And the other
then
hand,
tapped the elbow.
That's nice.
And then Beyonce was there and she was like, hi. I was like, hi. And it was amazing.
Where was it?
At that place you go like bowling over there.
That's where I saw them too.
On the water pier something?
I saw them Chelsea Pier.
Yeah.
No, I saw them at the bowling alley across from Chelsea Pier.
Oh,
it was
Lucky
Angela
Strikes?
Yee's birthday party, I want to say.
That's where I always see that. Angela Yee always, she's really cool, Hove, because she's from Santa Gold.
Anyways, we're getting off the point that we need to get down to what really happened at Grammy weekend.
Nothing.
So, okay, so
You're making me sound weird and I don't like this conversation.
no.
We went off our pre-meeting. That's why this is weird.
And you hovered though. You're a hover.
I did do a little hovering.
And I said, I think it's time for you, just like you had the epiphany about not taking trips to go hang out with people who you shouldn't hang out with. You should also have an epiphany that you're cool with Ty Dolla $ign and you no longer need to be weird and stalkery. And in fact, you should probably dial it back to normalcy.
I did,
But
dial
that's
it
probably
back.
all he knows her as. That's her behavior. That's her personality.
But he still seems to like her. Like, I witnessed it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no. When he came on our podcast, he did it strictly off her. He was ready to go to his next. We didn't book him. He just happened to be in Hot 97.
Right, and he came in like he does like her, and doesn't and must know you're weird, but appreciates how much you like him. But don't you think now it would be like you would seem cooler if you dialed it back just a touch?
Well, see, that's what happened, and I told him because he FaceTimed me from Dubai like a couple weeks ago.
That should be enough,
right? Well, look,
you know, how psyched would you be if Hov FaceTimed you from Dubai,
right?
Like Rory looks good.
In my brain, I would have answered, but then I would have dropped the phone.
You would
in
have
real
actually
life.
not answered.
Actually, Abu Dhabi, which apparently is not the same thing. So he FaceTimed me. So he was like, "Are you coming to my concert?" I was like, "Actually, no." I was thinking I should kind of dial it back. I literally said that. I was like, I feel like I kind of come around a little too much. Like, I'm going to just, scale it back a little bit. Plus, I'm not the biggest Future fan. You're not listening to me. You're not even
I'm fully listening to you.
Okay, well, whatever. I was like, plus I'm not the biggest Future fan. Like, I'm going to just skip that. I'll catch you on, like, the next go-around, whatever. He was like, what the fuck? Who's getting in your ear? Like, you have to come to my show. Like, that's really fucked up. Like, I want you there. I was like, all right, cool. And then, like, this coming weekend, instead of, I didn't want to go to New York because it's all industry-ish. So he had me come out to PA and, like, we kicked it and it was cool. So I tried to scale it back. He doesn't want me to scale it back.
But you don't have to hover.
Okay, that was a little hovery. I had nothing else to do, though. There was no one on stage.
You really, but I need you to steal. But like, you're cool with French. You don't hover on French, do you?
No.
Because you know him well enough.
Yeah, it's like my brother. Literally, he fucked up my game with Chris Brown because I was going to maybe try to kick it to him. And he's like, yo, Chris is my little sister, yo. We've been together for years. Da, 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 da. I was like,
this was in
LA at his dinner.
Oh, just now, recently.
Yeah, at his dinner. I was like, God damn it, French, no little sister. That doesn't get me anywhere.
I mean, dudes fuck little sisters all the
That's a
time.
good point. I mean, dudes are out here fucking little sisters.
Yeah, that's not
There's no
weird.
question. Little sisters do end up getting fucked.
Matter of fact, sometimes you ask, where's your little sister?
Just kidding, though, guys. I wasn't really going to kick it to fucking Chris Brown.
Oh, really?
Everybody fuck off.
You would turn down Chris Brown?
No.
No, you wouldn't. I'm glad you're
not
honest.
for a
Let's not
second.
even, let's keep it 100.
But I wouldn't try to holla at him, just for clarification.
Except for when you did last week, and you just told us
Bit of
that.
a contradiction.
No, but I didn't try. I was going to try.
But the point is,
Well, actually, I wasn't.
why can't you handle Ty now the way you handle
I don't know. I
French?
just get weird around him. Like, I get nervous.
Well,
And
she
I
was
just hover.
obsessed with Ty before she met him.
Yeah.
And then I think she just knew French.
Like, listen, I love Kendrick. Like, everyone knows I'm I'm a fanboy of Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a big fan. And there are moments where I'm excited that I have the relationship that I do with him because I think he's that great.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you feel about Ty Dolla $ign. Like you think he's this incredible musician, which I think he is, and I think he'll prove to be very important over
Yep,
time.
over time.
Right? He's great. But Kendrick, we already know what he is, right? We already know Kendrick's Kendrick. And Kendrick sent me a text the day after the Grammys.
Oh, that's right,
I woke up to
yeah.
a text and he was like, yo, thanks for coming last night.
We went to Kendrick's party.
He didn't FaceTime you?
I know, but he did. Exactly.
He
I'm a
didn't FaceTime me
joke.
from Abu Dhabi.
No, not even close. And I had a moment where I go, oh man, that's nice. I told my wife, I told you, I was like, Kendrick
Yeah.
hit me the next day. That's so nice. I understand getting geeked a little bit, but like, I'm not going to be like, so what are you doing later, fam? Like,
I don't do that. For the record, I said he FaceTimed me from Abu Dhabi. He wanted me to come
That's
out.
one circumstance. But when you're at the event with him, you don't leave him alone.
I do too. I didn't even bother him that time.
How many separate times did you talk to him?
Twice.
You're a liar.
I'm not lying.
There
at
wasn't
all.
a third one.
No.
By the way, I Snapchatted her. If you follow me, Rosenberg Radio on my Snapchat, I Snapchatted her just waiting and staring at him.
I was not doing. You are such a fucking exaggerator.
He waited on the red carpet after and he was doing
I was talking to Sasha.
And she kept saying to me, she kept being like, don't you want to talk to him? Don't you need to talk to him? And I'm like, I'll talk to him when I talk to him. I don't understand what's wrong with you.
I don't know what it is. I'm just a little.
Anyways, the rest of the trip was we saw each other again
We were
like every night.
Every night.
Yeah, almost,
we went to
almost every
Kehlani's
night.
granny party together. We
Did she win a
Kendrick's
Grammy?
Party.
She did not win. She was nominated.
But the weekend won. I mean, it was kind
That
of.
was-
I love Kehlani's album.
It's really
mixtape,
good.
whatever it was.
Mixtape of album of Jace.
Yeah, I mean, it was nominated for a Grammy. I think it's an album now.
Her
Like, what's your
party
nomination?
was Love Hug.
Good lip hug though. I
Yeah,
thought.
no, it was like it was
I didn't
lit.
think it was that repug though.
It was so crowded.
For me,
It was dope.
Dip thought it was really crowded too. For me, I thought it was like low key. I thought it was easy.
I think I was frustrated because I didn't feel like drinking, so I was sober, and it was just like. And then someone else who had like tried to kidnap me that weekend was like trying to fight with me on my phone, and I was just getting frustrated.
Someone else?
Yeah, because once I escaped situation A,
You ran to
I
situation
went
B.
to situation B.
Can you explain this escape? We don't know who it is. We're not going to roast you over it.
But how
Can
did
you
you-
explain the situation?
I can't. Honestly, I can't. Like, I really can't.
But you can. You went to see this person, and then when you got there, what was the situation? Can't you just say that?
I realized they were trying to have an orgy, and I was like, whoa, buddy.
At what point did you realize, oh my God, this might be an orgy?
As I was sitting there, and then one girl arrived that I knew. I was like, oh, hey, girl. Oh, okay, hey. And then she was like, hey, girl. And then we're there for like 3 hours, and then another girl arrived, and she was like, oh my God, that's such and such. She's been around since blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what?
Oh, they were trading war stories of being around?
Yes. And I was just like, oh yeah, nah, this isn't working. So then I really.
Was this gentleman in the room, or he just had you guys in a separate room?
No, he was around. I really can't talk about it, but.
How did you escape? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, how did you escape?
Well, first I fell asleep for hours. And like wouldn't
off to a weird start.
Yeah, just sleep through it.
Wouldn't move when touched, even though I felt it. Like I was just like, oh, I'm sleeping.
Oh, someone tried to wake you up.
Yeah, and I just kept sleeping.
He did. He tried to. Or they tried
to. Hey,
to wake there's an orgy behind you.
And I just like slept right through it. And then the next day, it just kept continuing. Like everybody was just
the orgy never
out.
Stopped.
And I was.
They kept going.
No, they didn't keep fucking. It was just there. Like I don't know. And then we were just all there, and then I was like, you know what? I have to go. My car is here.
So where'd you end up going?
So then I went to the concert that night. So then this person that I'm just cool with, we've never had sex ever. Like we always flirt, but whatever. And so he texted me. He was like, yo, what the fuck? You're in LA and you haven't hit me. I'm like, how the fuck would I know you're in LA? You're not even from LA, B. And he's like, well, I'm out here, blah, blah, like fucking going crazy. I'm like, all right, I'll come fucking see you, Jesus Christ. So my homegirl from LA, she was like driving me around or whatever. She took me over to see him, and he was like, yo, why don't you stay with me? Because I was going to stay with Mike. I had hit Zombie, and I was like, yo, can I stay with you? He's like, yeah, no problem. So he was like, nah, fuck that. Stay with me. Like, it's cool. I got a big ass house out here, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll stay with you. Like, cool. He's like, we'll go out for Valentine's Day. We'll do it. I'm like, fine.
Whoa, okay.
But yeah, I'm like, at least I'll.
Did the two same girls walk into the house?
No.
Oh, you again?
And then.
No, you know why they didn't? Because the drop off from person A to person B is major.
I don't know either, so I'm not sure. But I'll take your word for it.
A-list to not A-list. No disrespect.
You're talking way too much.
Oh my God. I think I'm still pretty vague.
Yeah. An A-list is very relative, by the way.
Very. And depends on the year and the time.
Because I wouldn't put the gentleman I think it is as an A-list.
At some point, maybe you would have.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways.
Jesus Christ, guys. I didn't even want to go there.
I think it was still... Okay, that's enough. We'll move away now. So then...
So then me and my homegirl are there, and we're all drinking or whatever, and he's like, yeah, just stay with me. I'm like, fine. So then I go stay with him. And then, like, when I got there, I put on, like, 6 layers of clothes, and then I also fell asleep. And
6 layers of clothes to ensure that you didn't have sex?
Yes, just so he would just leave me alone. I had, like, a hoodie and, like, a T-shirt and all type of shit. Hey, Nick. And so then, like, the next day, I was like, okay, I'll stay with you, but as long as you don't fucking, like, annoy me and, like, tell me to, like, hang out with you all day. Like, I have shit to do in LA. He's like, no, it's fine. So then I went about my business, and I went to go see MGK's manager. We went out for a beautiful lunch, and then he fucking texted me, like, so you're just gonna spend the night and wear all those clothes and not have sex? I'm like, oh, we're not doing this, bro. This is not, like, he's just fucking nitpicking now. Like, shut the fuck up. And then I go to Kehlani's party, and he's blowing me up, like, yo, where the fuck are you? I'm like, I said, this is not what we're gonna do, bro.
Do you still have your stuff at his house at that point?
Yes, and I'm fucking sick to my stuff. That's why I was in such a bad mood at her party, because I'm like, how am I doing this?
I gotta get the stuff.
Yeah. So then I text him. I'm like, you know what? Kehlani just asked me if I could, like, help her for the weekend. I don't even know what that means.
Was this like the time Usher asked you to interview him in Atlanta?
Exactly. So I was like, her assistant right now is going to take me over to get your shit, because my homegirl Sasha was like, I'll take you to get your shit if you want. I'm like, thank you, Jesus Christ. So she picked me up.
Has person A hit you up at all? Like, where did you go?
No, I told person A, like, I'm out. Like, this is it. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask for his money back, like,
no.
Delta guy?
Nope.
He wasn't like that flight.
Didn't ask for nothing.
But
so then so he was like, oh, okay, I guess that's cool. And so Sasha took me. I got all my shit and I dipped.
And you escaped.
And I escaped, and I stayed with Zombie in a beautiful, nice situation for the rest of the weekend. No stress.
If this was if Marissa's life was like a weird hip hop romantic comedy, at some point,
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a show already.
I forgot.
That actually exists.
Years down the road, she would end up with Zombie. And he would have had to have watched her go through all this stuff, but he loved her the whole time.
Zums is like my brotato chip. I love
exactly.
Zums.
And he's your brotato chip, your Franklin Roosevelt, your Bill Bromanowski,
my bro Budden,
your bro Budden. and then one day you guys would look at each other and be like, "We have matching hair." And
matching grills.
And matching grills. And by the way, I love Zombie.
Like, he's literally like one of my top 5 favorite people.
He's one of the best. Everyone loves that guy.
Like, we had such a fun time. I enjoyed oh my God, we went to a Candy Crush party. It was Candy Crush themed party.
She was very excited.
Like, I fucking lost my mind. It was so cool. It
was actually, it was the whatchamacallit party, Primary Wave.
Yeah.
They're a publishing company.
I was gonna say, I don't know what that is, but yeah.
It was sponsored by Candy Crush, so she was very excited.
They had like Candy Crush drinks, Candy Crush dance floor, Candy Crush fucking monuments.
Oh,
it was
amazing.
So amazing.
Candy Crush?
Exactly. They had a candy table.
Wow.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Anyways, all right. So Grammys, that seems to be a dead conversation.
It's over.
What's going on right at this moment that we are recording is this Cameron versus Karen Civil situation.
Weird.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know what's going on listening to this in the future.
Like tomorrow?
She said that Cam got kicked out of Rockefeller because he took his parking spot, which I actually took Karen as saying that as a joke.
Yeah.
I thought she said it. Yeah, I didn't think she was serious. And then Cameron got a bit upset and put something on Instagram suggesting that she stole $60,000 from Duke to God.
Suggesting is a mild way of putting it. He's asserting it defiantly and saying he has the receipts to back it up.
Yeah. I love Cam because Cam doesn't delete shit like a lot of other rappers.
No, he's not the deleting one.
So this will probably still be up if you're listening. He's put up 3 posts. One giving background on the situation, a second photo of a young Yandy and a young Karen Civil and a young Dipset, and then a video of him calling Karen Civil saying, "Yo, you owe us $60,000."
I don't like the situation.
Why?
What don't you like? Because you're friends with everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a dog in this fight.
How early is in the story of Karen Civil? How early is the relationship with Dipset?
Marissa would know this much better.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Karen and I both met them. I was 15, so I don't know how old Karen is now, but I think she's at least 4 years older than me. So it doesn't matter. I was 50, so this was 2003. We both met them, and because she was like already grown up and like not in high school anymore, like I was, she was able to parlay that into a job within a year.
Was she working with them pre-Flex?
Yeah, she actually was with them first and then got Flex. Well, she was she was doing that game thing to be Angie Martinez's apprentice.
Got it.
Didn't get that, and then Flex was like, "Yo, you work hard though. Like, come work for me." And this was still during the Dipset time because she wasn't like full 100% with them. And then, so then she was doing both, but she eventually left Flex after a while because Dipset was able to be a full-time situation.
Now, I will say this. Cameron's first post about this appears to be based on a Dat Piff post that says parking lot politics can get pretty petty. Jay-Z probably dumped Dipset from Def Jam because Cameron blocked his car.
Karen didn't say that. I didn't listen to the podcast. That sounds
like they heard the podcast and wrote the sensational headline.
Did you listen?
Course. No, I listened to the actual interview.
Okay.
And yeah, she mentioned that she was walking out, was saying hello to Cam, and Jay was trying to flag down Cam of some nature for a parking spot. To me, it sounded like she was saying it in jest. It wasn't serious.
Karen, like, I that's a good friend of mine. Like, she doesn't want beef. She doesn't want to start shit with people. Like, the Dipset situation has been rocky for a while since, she left or whatever. And I know she wouldn't have said it to fucking start a war with them. Like, that's not what.
And I don't think it was that either. Of course, the clickbait. I can't believe Dat Piff does this. I mean, aren't they?
I didn't know that was.
I didn't know they did this for clicks. I thought their whole central was.
I don't think they're clickbait
mixtapes.
either, but I guess Cameron is like a big part of that, Dipset stuff. So right. I guess they just took it.
Well, with that said, this was how many years ago? You said 2003.
Yeah, that's when. Well, she started like 03, 04, and then she left in like 07, 08, 07, 08. One of those.
Now, I have no dog in this fight at all. I don't really know Karen that well. We have a lot of really close mutual friends. I don't know Cameron at all. It's a bit weird that now he's getting this upset over $60,000 from 2003.
No.
That's not what he's upset about, though. What it sounds to me is he's upset about is that the story, as he believes it to have been told, not saying that's how she told it, made him look bad in his divorce, if you will, with the Jay-Z Rockefeller situation.
Yeah.
And he didn't I think it sounds like he felt like she knew the inside of what it really was probably and wasn't honest about what it was. That's what seemed, the 60,000 seems like, it's like, for example, the same person who I've talked to with you before about who owes me money. That's not really why I was annoyed with that person. I was annoyed with him because of things that happened between us. And then the thing that I throw out as like, hey, how about you pay me the money you owe me? You know what I'm saying? It's an easy thing to go to if someone does something else to you. He might have never cared about the money.
And by the way, this isn't the first time that it's been a situation with them. Jim Jones lashed out on her on Twitter a few years ago, too.
About what?
About the same situation.
The $60K?
Well, money in general. I think more the beef or whatever. But, like, for the most part, these guys have, like, left it alone. So I think it really is just Cam, like you said, feeling slighted about the whole little divorce Jace.
Do we think Cameron has heard this interview and heard exactly what
No,
she
I don't
said?
think he heard it at all. I think he read that headline and just kind of went off the handle.
Why is this so acceptable all the time? Where people, if you were to ask them, yo, did you hear exactly what I said? I was like, no. Someone told me.
That's what the fuck happened with the Meek Mill situation.
I'm not quite sure why you would not go to the source and listen to it before you reacted.
Especially...
And Cameron may have heard it. I'm not sure. But for some reason, this seems to be a trend all the time with people.
And you can't picture Cameron sitting around listening to a podcast. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
but then again, that's not... I never expected Fishbot to go listen to a podcast, and he fucking sat and listened to all our shit.
Oh.
I hope. Did I say that over the mic?
I think you were clear. Yeah.
Me and him just got in another fight when I was in LA, too.
Cam even less so. I don't picture...
I don't know. They're like the same person.
Although Cam is like... also funny. He probably listens to like weird random comedy podcasts, but I couldn't picture him listening to. But anyways, who knows? Maybe we'll listen to Tax podcast. I don't know. But either way,
I mean, Tax is that kind of guy he might listen to because I could feel like he could relate to Tax, and Tax speaks for people like Killa.
To a degree,
I suppose. Yeah. But with that said, I'm curious to see now tomorrow, and when I check my timeline after we record this, how a lot of publications are quick to jump on any clickbait and gossip that they possibly fucking can. I'm curious to see who goes completely silent on this situation.
Every other blogger out there?
Which is weird to me, because if you are going to now ask for everyone to take you seriously as a blogger, and a lot of you guys use the word journalist instead of blogger for some odd reason.
Hey, some people really write.
Some do.
Yeah. At what point are you now, that is your position you put yourself in, and you are going to move past this because Karen seems to be one of your friends?
Or she's one of your friends, or she's someone you deem powerful and don't feel like having an issue with her.
I mean, it's easy to report the situation being unbiased, though.
I agree. But I don't
Rory
think they're even
did a good job
report
of it. You did a good job just describing the way you saw it.
Yeah.
In a very safe way.
I mean, I really don't have an opinion towards it. I don't know Karen that well, and I don't know Cam.
Yeah, someone fucking added me on Cameron's thing, like, oh shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you adding me for? They're like, isn't that your friend? I'm like, it's not my business or your business. Get the fuck out of this shit. The fuck?
Well, if Marty's job on Blame Ebro is to post things that are relevant.
I actually don't post on the site.
All right.
I just
that wasn't what I was getting at. Okay.
Well,
and your job is to tell the interns what to post and what not to post. And there's something out there about me, hypothetically, because I'm not relevant. But if I was, I wouldn't be mad at Marty for posting that.
Yeah,
That's her job. If she got very malicious and personal in the post, I would directly speak to her.
Yeah.
But that's her job.
Me and Flex, it makes more sense with Flex. Like, Flex has been in the media in the past couple of years with shit with divorcing his wife and all that shit. We posted everything. He will call us like, don't shy away from that shit. Post that shit. Post everything that comes out in the media.
Flex is his own beast with that, though.
Yeah.
He's one of the only people who does not give a shit. If it creates clicks, Flex is like, I don't give a shit.
But see, that's the thing where a lot of people get mad at Flex, and I've been very critical of Flex myself. But Flex, I respect no matter what and who you are. He will give you his opinion live on air because that is what he's put himself in position to do.
Yeah.
He has a responsibility as a DJ and a host and a personality to speak on things that involve hip-hop, news, whatever it is, and he sticks to that. And I feel like these bloggers are picking and choosing the things that they want to post due to their relationships. And that is what kind of separates you as a blogger and a journalist to me.
I mean, you also got to look at people's websites too. Like,
No, I agree.
it wouldn't,
no,
make, it wouldn't even make sense on Rap Radar. It wouldn't make sense on Wrap Up. There's a lot of sites that
No, it would make sense on a Rap Radar.
Which one? Which post?
Cameron versus Karen Civil is not relevant on Rap Radar. Are they above that?
They don't really do gossipy shit. They do music.
They will do. They will.
I mean,
do,
like once in a blue.
They'll post so and so versus so and so if it's like a war of words.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cameron might,
lashing out at Karen.
That might not be enough. If it was Cameron and Jim,
right? Like a real hip hop beef. This is not a real. This is blogger and because she's not a blogger anymore. But at the end of the day, like that's what she's considered in our.
What is
small
she?
community.
What would you describe her as?
I don't know how to use.
She's a Karen Civil
Entrepreneur. No, I don't know. Yeah, motivational speaker.
Well, I listened to her. Again, her interview with Tax, and she made a really cool point. She gets paid to be herself.
Yeah,
I think that's really admirable.
It is.
I mean, to a degree, I'm not sure because I don't know her personally, but I think that's great. Her content she's done with Nipsey, I loved the Fetty in my neighborhood shit. I like the stuff that she's done.
She does some cool shit with her site. She's still with Nipsey or no?
I thought she was managing him. No?
Yeah, that's what I think she does. Yeah,
her and Steve, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, is this news or am I going too far in a situation that doesn't matter? I'm just curious looking at all the bloggers.
But I think a lot of kids don't know who. I mean, it's not that they're quiet. Like, what are they going to say? It's a weird situation because that is our friends.
I mean, like, I don't want to put anyone on blast, although.
We can.
Who would you expect to say something?
The Rap Radars. Let me go through my blog list.
But Elliot doesn't really put out opinions unless it's like a music, like, not even. All Elliot does, and this isn't a diss.
Has he retweeted anything?
That's a good question because that's what he does. Elliot's statement is retweeting.
Yeah,
that's basically
literally what he does.
The main. I mean, he uses the podcast as his voice, I'm guessing, and then on social, I feel like all he really does now is post and repost. Mm-hmm. It's all like sort of a setup for the podcast. God, I feel so good that I don't have a beef with any podcast anymore. I don't feel weird talking about any podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to start some?
No, not today.
But no, I don't really feel
Air
like
somebody out. We don't have Joe here.
Like
need some leverage.
Right.
I don't feel like that's something that anybody really would have anything to say, like, because it's also a weird situation where we don't fucking know what happened.
That's the thing. What are you going to take aside? Like, I have opinions about Cam and Civil as people privately.
Yeah, both good people. Yeah,
I can tell you like privately. Oh, I think this of this one and this of that one. But beside then what are you doing? Then you're just really straight up gossiping.
Well, in my sense in bringing it up now, we brought up things much lower than Karen and Cam.
Well, that's because this podcast is the bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah, thank you.
That's why it does so well.
Yeah. Well,
we're the Inflix We Trust the podcast.
Exactly. No matter what gets said, we'll talk about it.
Are we those guys?
Joe really is interested. Joe really will talk about the scourge of the earth.
Yeah. Well, I would feel reluctant, even as her being a close friend of my close friends, to not bring it up. Because I feel it's our responsibility. We've said things, and we haven't said anything bad about it here at all, in my opinion. But yeah, we bring up things lower than that. We're not above Cam and Karen Civil.
Well, it is actually kind of the perfect hybrid for this podcast.
So I don't think we're a gossip podcast at all.
No, I don't either. But you will talk about.
I wouldn't do this if we were a gossip.
You talk about current shit that's happening, and it's the perfect conversation because Cam is someone that all your listeners are somewhat interested in, amused by, a fan of. Mm-hmm. And Karen is in the world of U2, and now the world Joe kind of pays attention to. It's the perfect hybrid conversation. I just don't think we have anything to offer on it. I'll tell you one thing. Karen was all over my ass the last time she came in for an interview. Do you remember that? Were you there for that?
Yeah, that was when she shouted me out and you're like, no one knows Marisa Mendez.
Yeah, and sorry. At the time you weren't popping yet. But no, she was just giving me such a hard time. She was still mad at me from some time when I don't even know what I ever said about her publicly. I'm sure I did say something.
You're not above.
It was of course not. It was something like, what does she do? Or I don't know. Something like that. But you know me, I'm a hater.
You are.
I'm particularly a hater of people if I can't discernibly understand what you do. Mm-hmm. I'm like very dated in that sense, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
because everyone had a job when you were coming up.
It's a job. So it's like even her saying like I get paid to be myself.
Yeah.
No, I get paid to be myself. I get paid by Walt Disney and MS Broadcasting to be myself.
I saw your billboard on the West Side Highway when I was driving to get my eyelashes done the other day.
And I'm in JJ's.
It was so cool, but I couldn't take a picture because I would have fucking crashed my car.
I'm glad you didn't.
But I was really happy for
But I
put you on the West Side Highway?
Yeah.
I'm out you. I mean, my name's not. But
Congrats.
For the Michael K thingy.
Your face?
My face.
Like
It's not just like your voice coming
I know,
out.
isn't that the weird part?
Yeah.
You'd think you would
Your
use
face.
my voice or my name. Neither of those are there. You can't use my voice technically. And my name,
I mean, it could be a shouting.
it would be a weird billboard. I'd like it. And my name's not on it, which I thought was odd, but my face is.
What's your face?
But I
It
don't
doesn't
think
make
anybody's
sense.
really reading it anyway. And if your name would have been on it, it probably would have been mad little. So you would.
I know, but the thing is, and I'm happy to get anything from them, but here's what I found weird about the billboard. And we're doing pretty well, so I'm not complaining. But you added me to the show because I, in theory, have some sort of value add because I've been on in the market on another station for years and years. But to the average listener driving, they were going to see me and not even put together that that's me.
Yeah.
So you might as well have put up, like, Peter Rosenberg joins the fun. Whatever, something.
Joins the fun.
I mean, me
That's a
and
bad
Rory,
example,
we
but-
just got our name on our podcast artwork for the first time after a year.
Yeah, right.
So
That's the next conversation.
Started.
That's the next conversation we need to have.
Well, I
What's
do
going
want
to
to
happen
have
with this podcast?
before we get into that, I still want to piggyback to your ESPN thing. What has that transition been like? People care about you, so I think we should have that
kind of.
conversation.
I feel
How
like
has
the
that
listeners of
transition
this
been?
podcast hate
by
me.
the way, hold on. If you're driving on the West Side Highway, it's like up there by like Phuket and all those clubs, like
Yeah.
that like the grocery store section where all those lights are and like mad random. You know
You
what I'm
described
talking
that
about?
very well. It's past the grocery store.
By Dinosaur Barbecue and all that
Yes,
shit,
and
like
where
that
Phuket used to be.
section. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't exist anymore.
No, Phuket's closed.
Well, you want to know the most random billboard I've ever seen with Peter Rosenberg on it?
What?
I was coming out of Popeyes on Jamaica Avenue,
Let's go.
Francis Lewis Boulevard, and I walked
in
out
Queens?
and I said, "Yeah, in Queens." I said, "Why am I looking at Peter Rosenberg's face on Jamaica and Francis?"
Was it a
Lewis?
black, a Puerto Rican, and a Jew or something?
It was, and you were wearing our sweatshirt, so I couldn't be mad.
I was wearing it by any means in the
Yeah,
billboard.
I couldn't be mad.
Yeah, I'm a real one. There's no fucking question
You're
about
mad
that.
real,
I forgot that I rocked that in the thing.
Yeah. Anyways, so this transition.
By the way,
with
shout out to my
ESPN.
man Savon Sampson. By the way,
Shout out to
Yeah,
Devon.
shout out
who I heard from this week.
Oh yeah, how's T doing?
Good. He sent me. He has some new gear he's doing,
I
and he
saw
has.
that on Instagram. For those who don't know who Tavon Sampson is, he's a very, very talented artist. Probably a majority of the Def Jam covers in the past 7 years
Yeah.
have come from Tavon.
Yeah, really talented dude. Now he's doing
And
his
a
artwork
great,
too.
great guy.
I'm gonna try to pull up the website. We should plug that before we get out of here.
Yeah.
because he has a website with the artwork on it and stuff. Anyways, the transition's been cool, man. It's been really fun. Now I get Joe to call up, and I didn't used to get Joe texting me and yelling at me because he doesn't care what I say on Hot 97. But on Sports Talk, which I know he likes me more on Sports Talk, he'll now text me to like yell at me and say I'm an idiot. The other day he said that I was being disrespectful to
How
Rob
often does he call?
Bass and DJ Easy Rock. No, it's text.
Oh, okay.
Because my co-host Don LaGreca, I mentioned we played a Rakim song and coming out of commercial, and I go, "Do you know who that is?" And he goes, "Is it Rob Bass?" And I was like, with all due respect to Rob Bass, like I said, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, though have great moments, are sort of forgettable. And you compared them to Rakim, who's like arguably the greatest MC of all time. And Joe was like, "How dare you call Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock forgettable?" I was like, "Okay, chill out, dude." For the mainstream conversation, I thought it was a safe way to put it. Transition's been fun. Doing the show is really fun, challenging, nice to be in a place where like you go from feeling like you're the expert and no one can tell you shit to like I'm not the expert. Like I love sports. I'm semi-sports knowledgeable, but like I could get called out. And I'm on my toes, so it's a new challenge.
Emmis is really corporate. How is the difference? Because I've just transitioned into advertising.
Okay.
And it's like night and day between hip hop and that. Like people respond to emails
Promptly.
You get paid on time.
Yes.
Like what is the difference between?
It's a fun concept.
Well, Emmis, it's funny that you say Emmis is corporate because compared to Disney
And
ESPN,
Clear Channel and
I'm actually waiting on
much
my
different.
check now, wondering when that email's coming.
What, from Emmis?
Yeah.
Emmis doesn't feel that corporate compared to Disney. Like Disney is like getting my salary and stuff set up, like going through the process to become to get
the
this.
real HR.
Yeah. And like Emmis is a pretty small company. The only big company things within Emmis are Hot 97, Power 106. Getting this sucker right here,
Oh, there you go. The Walt Disney card.
the card with Mickey Mouse on it.
Oh, let me see.
That joint took time.
Does that get you into Soho House?
Wow, you got to like send them your own photo. You didn't even have to
my
pose for
overpriced
one.
membership gets me into Soho House.
Oh.
Which I didn't get. I didn't get approved for Soho House until I already had the job. And I kind of applied to be a Soho House member while I was trying to find a new more work.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good look, right? To just like be in that building. And then I got a new job, and then like a couple months later they're like, "Hey, welcome to Soho House." And I was like, "Wait, I don't really need to be a member here anymore." But it is a fun place to go
So
occasionally.
when are you going to leave Hot?
I don't have any plans to leave Hot until they kick me out. I'm
There
staying.
you go.
It's a good situation.
It's weird to say, and I don't mean this disrespectfully at all.
Please. I like that.
You're like an OG at Hot 97 now, which is kind of funny.
How about this? I said to Tracy Clarity yesterday, off air, I'm so dumb for not asking her on air. Forgot on the podcast. Off the podcast, I was like, I'm meaning to ask you something. I said, I've been coming, I said, I'm on going on 9 years doing mornings in some regard on Hot. Mm-hmm. I was like, am I wrong or am I far and away the longest tenured morning host in the history of Hot 97? She was like, oh, not even close.
When I hear Tracy's name, the only thing that I think of is, and tell Trace thank you that week off, I'm grateful, something.
Who said that, Angie?
Angie on If I Could Go.
She shouts out Trace.
It's a very underrated record.
It really, I fucking love that record.
Either.
It was a hit, and there were a lot of things I forgot to get to with her yesterday. Like, remember on the Big Pun skit when him and Flex are laughing, he's talking about running trains, and he goes, "Shout out to Tracy!" Like he says it in the middle of the fucking. What was that?
That was a laugh at I don't know what that was.
In the middle of talking about running trains, he's like, shout out to Tracy. We didn't even get to that. Her story goes so. If y'all don't know about Tracy Clarity, listen.
Well, we don't want to plug your podcast.
You should. Anymore. It's the least you could do. Check out the One FC podcast.
And, to close ESPN, me and my father prank called you on ESPN once.
Oh yeah, and then he was
pissed.
fucking pissed at you. He texted me like, yo, your fucking friend is an idiot.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? I was like, is he dumber than I thought? I always thought Rory was smart. Is he a fucking idiot? It's not that you pranked me. You cursed.
I didn't realize I cursed.
You dumb shit. He was like, what did you say? He said something about shit.
This was in the beginning of the podcast, and this was when Joe had just cursed you out for not getting any guests.
Right.
I was taking my dad to the Yankees game for Father's Day. And we were at our typical parking spot at Concourse Village where you don't have to pay and all that shit. So we were sitting there in his car smoking, and we were listening to ESPN Radio.
Smoking
Weed.
Of course. I forgot your dad is hood.
Yeah.
Your dad pees outside, he smokes weed, all that shit.
Wow. That's pretty nice.
Those who have been to my birthday parties know my father for who he is.
Okay.
And so we're listening. I said, hey, I know this
with
guy.
Our dads. We should bring our dads in.
I don't want the world to know my father.
No, our dads would be lit. Glenn Mendez and your dad.
And Joe's dad.
Joe's dad is
Papa
great.
Budden. Yo, the three of them.
That would actually, you should just leave them.
And they could do our podcast on our behalf.
Don't tell them shit.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Just turn the mics on and lock them in the room. Be like, have a good hour, guys.
My pops lives in Florida, but I'll get him up here.
That'll be mage. All right, so you guys are sitting there and you're like, I know this dick, it's Rosenberg.
Yeah. And he said, we'll call him. I said, all right.
And it was a Saturday show, so it was not hard to get through.
And they asked, who are you and where are you from? And I think I said your hometown just so I knew you would pick up the call.
Yeah.
And what were we talking about? Tiger Woods or something of that nature? And I said, yeah, that's great. When are you going to get a guest on I'll Name This Podcast Later?
Oh my God.
And I heard your hesitation, and then you're like, yes, the Joe Budden podcast.
I love the podcast. First, I was kind of excited. I'm like, plug for the Joe Budden podcast. Well done. And then he's like, yeah, you better do your shit or something like that. And I was like, what? And then he and then you texted me.
No, you texted me. I think you knew.
I figured it out at that point. And I was like, what an asshole. Fortunately, they dumped it. Don't worry. It didn't make it there.
Oh, the dump. What is it what is the 3 seconds?
Some of it I think got on there.
Oh, no, you got on. Just the shit got caught.
Oh, okay.
But,
to speak about this podcast,
what the hell's going on with this podcast? How are we doing?
We're doing great.
And now,
don't we have another announcement coming, or is it not ready yet?
It's not ready yet.
What's the announcement related to? What's it related to?
I don't want to jinx it, but it's pretty much done.
A future home or something?
No, just another live show.
Oh, great. That'll be awesome.
With a festival that's coming up.
Next month.
A festival next month.
Is it I guess it's a festival.
Yeah, it is. It's
a
called
weekend.
A festival. It's a 2-week thing, actually.
Next month? Oh.
Yeah.
Where I just bought my flights yesterday, not knowing that was happening, and I got to change it again.
It'll probably just be me and Joe, because Marty's going to land in that state and then go somewhere else.
I asked Ebro yesterday, I was like, yo, can you, send us to South by? And he was like, why, so you could fucking go to Alaska?
He was like, where are you going to end up if I actually try to send you to Austin? Where are you going to end up?
Oh, wait, we just said it.
Yeah,
you ruined
whatever.
it. But we don't know that's confirmed yet. So the podcast appears to be doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the perception of someone that doesn't listen but was once heavily involved?
I mean, I keep my eye on the rankings all the time, and
keep your finger on the pulse.
I see the post, and I posted the live event. I occasionally check
Ebro
in.
did too.
Yeah, I check in and show my support. But that gets to the nitty gritty of this is a good thing to focus on while Joe's not here. Is when I came on, whenever the last time Joe screamed at me, and I haven't really been back since. it's not because I was like offended. I've talked to Joe
By
many
the way,
times.
guys.
In real life, I don't care.
The internet will say that that's why you haven't been back.
No.
Yeah.
Me and Joe, no. It is partly why didn't come back, because
He stole $60,000 from you.
yeah, Joe owes me $60,000 and I need him to pay my brother back right now. No, because
Hey, Nick.
my brother's actually here.
Yep.
And it is partially why I didn't come back, though, because I couldn't win being here. He wanted me to come in to do nothing. And then if I was going to get on the mic, I'd get yelled at about not doing anything. And I was like, this isn't worth my time, but particularly when not trying to be an asshole, but I'm literally the busiest I've ever been in my life. So like every day, like today, you were like, hey, do you want to do this? I'm coming from my other show, but when you're like, well, Joe's not here, so you can help out, I'm happy to do that. But Joe, somehow we miscommunicated in the origins of this podcast. When we had our initial conversation at my house that day about like what this podcast would be and what my role would be, as I think I often do, get excited and either overextend myself or am just not clear enough. So then when the podcast started, he wanted two things all of a sudden. He wanted me to book guests, which I didn't know was a thing. And as we've learned, you guys aren't really a guest-driven podcast.
Which I think separates us, and I'm happy about.
Yeah.
By the way, you don't need it.
I think we do less good when we have guests. I feel like we're not our usual organic selves.
Well, it's a lot of people when you have a guest makes it four people.
Yeah.
Right? None of you, no disrespect, are super experienced on-air interviews.
At all.
Right.
What you are is three friends who get on and talk together and make it super entertaining.
Which when we have guests, I do appreciate that we don't sit there and interview them.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, don't try to force
that's
it.
Weird.
But so you make it work for you guys, but I'm saying it's not necessary.
Right.
And the problem was, Joe, as you guys know, has no interest in bothering his contacts
at all
with coming on his podcast. So what I couldn't enunciate well, because Joe's such a fucking good arguer, and I'm a great arguer, and Joe's one of the only people I'm like, I don't want to argue with, is for me to book guests for a celebrity podcast is ridiculous, because I am then wasting my puny contacts, which I need for my shit, on you, celebrity friend, who could get your own guests if you were just fucking willing to ask them. But he doesn't want to do that. So A, I'm not booking guests for you. That's fucking stupid. You should do that if you want guests. Secondly, I mean, produce the show. What are you telling me to do? Like cut bits? It's a fucking podcast. I helped set it up, get the studio, and give you some suggestions early on how it could roll. That's basically what I foresaw the whole thing being. And then I figured I'd help you get money, which I did.
Yep.
And I'd take my little piece and keep it moving. Joe, asshole that he is, made me feel like so bad early on about my limited role that I never even decided to take the money. So I just essentially was like, I'll get you my guy, Eric, who will help.
Shout out to Eric.
Eric's the best. I'll put you in this place with Ant and Joey and these guys who are the best.
Ant and Joey are the best.
And the fucking thing's moving. What the fuck do you want from me? So at that point, I felt like I knew he was going to look at it as I abandoned the podcast, but I felt like it was, you guys were a little cub, and you got your bearings, and you're out in the forest by yourself. And if you somehow they kicked us out of the studio, or we need something, you could always hit me. I felt like I've never been unresponsive to anyone from the podcast. I
mean, I see you every morning.
And you see me all the fucking time. So that was it. End of conversation. But I still feel like in some way there's like, not bitter. Joe doesn't seem bitter at all, but like I feel like in some way I let the podcast down, but because he made me feel that way. I don't actually believe that. I don't think.
You let Joe down? That's the remix. Let Joe down.
I let Joe down. What a different theme than I let Nas down. Nas, it's like in your head, and you're thinking about Joe just like screams at you and berates you and makes you feel like shit. By the way, what an amazing experience it was listening to Joe berate my wife on her podcast.
Oh, I didn't listen. I should listen.
It was hilarious. If you haven't heard it, let me plug that one at least, because it's Joe.
Yeah, no, your wife's great.
My wife's podcast, That's What She Said. It's on iTunes. If you search for Alexa Dat or That's What She Said, it's like 3 episodes back. It's her and Joe talking sports for an hour. I think I tweeted, I'm like, man, I must have a weird love and trust of Joe. To sit there and hear another grown man
just screaming at
your wife, and all I did was kind of laugh and told her, I'm like, listen, I was like, one of the things I tell my wife is like, she loves sports, but she's not a naturally built arguer. So I'm like, be prepared. If you go halfway with Joe,
Not even.
Yeah. If you just say
He'll
something.
bait you to say something you don't want to say.
Exactly. So I recommend
Yo, he
it.
will. Like, you don't even mean what you said. You don't even want to say that. And you just fucking say it because you want to win. Like, by any means necessary at that point.
But that, by the way, that's why if I have my ultimate goal with Joe, if Joe wasn't an annoying piece of shit, no disrespect.
He's been called worse on this podcast.
Of course. He would do this for fun, and he would do a radio show for his job. He's that good. Joe's that good. And you know what? Here's another thing that makes Joe such a fucking dickwad is I called him I hadn't even done a show yet at ESPN. And they were like, hey, do you know anyone else, who you might be good to work with, maybe? And I know they were thinking maybe someone who's not white. Like I could get the sense. I mean, we still need a more diverse lineup over there. And I called Joe and I'm like, yo, any chance you would want to just do a random radio show with me? He was basically like, I need you to tell me exactly when it would be, consistently what time, late enough in the day. I'm like, he wasn't an asshole at all. He was totally cool about it. He was transparent, but I was like, forget it. I'm too hungry for the job. I'm too hungry to
I'll do 4 a.m. if I have to.
Right. Like I was ready, not 4 a.m. Let's be real. I put in 9 years. Okay. But no, I was like on weekends, whatever. If they'd been like, hey, be here at 9 a.m. I would have been there. Joe's not going to do that. So I do think Joe has incredible potential. Like, you want to know where I would really see Joe going?
Where?
Ready for it? I'm going to put this out in the world right now. Whenever the time comes, and I'm not rushing it because he's fantastic, but whenever the time comes that Sway is ready to be like, I've done the morning show long enough, I think Joe as the morning host of Shade 45 would be fucking awesome.
And it's a reasonable time.
It is.
Sway's not like a 5 a.m.
No.
Oh my God, yeah, that was
like
always
10.
super easy.
It's 8 to noon, I think.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Which is much more
When I used to bring
reasonable.
artists up there, that shit was so much easier than fucking
Hot.
Yeah,
It's a huge pain in the ass. We have to get guests as if we're on at that time.
trying to get French up for Hot was tough, but getting him up for Shade 45 was
No, hey, we'll be there by 11.
Yeah.
That's doable. So I don't think Sway should be in any rush. He's still, I mean, honestly, he might be the biggest he's ever been. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So but he's always, every 5 to 10 years, it seems like Sway makes a different move, and he's fucking hanging out at the White House and covering the MTV Awards still. So if at some point he decided he'd had enough of that gig, I think Joe would be an incredible morning host.
They've had him fill in a few times for
maybe
Sway.
this whole squad. We could just take over.
How did he do when he filled in?
Great. Yeah, he did really good. I was with him when
I mean, he
when
did
we
the
were
Hot
up there.
97 morning show for a year.
For a year. Tracy talks about that, by the way,
Yeah.
on the podcast. Sorry, another cheap plug. But anyways, I think Joe has, for any of those people who think that there's any actual animosity, I love Joe, and I think he's incredible. And I hope that moving forward, that's what I want to talk to Rory about off the air, is like how I can actually be involved. I don't want to like completely let go and not be a part of this, because I feel a part of it. And I don't really care that much about the finances, although if you guys started getting fucking rich, then I probably would get tight about it. Let's keep it real.
If you were to take a percentage, it would not be a lot right now.
I know. Believe me, it's my guy who does the sales. I know. It's the same sales I'm doing for One
Exactly.
Epstein. It's not, listen, it's not groundbreaking money, but it probably
it
puts a little.
fucking helps.
I love it.
It's a bonus.
That shit. Yes.
I mean, listen, for Marisa, it's like she's a millionaire.
Exactly. Hello.
Anyways, I'm glad that things are going
And
so
the
well.
live show money is fucking lit too.
How was that live show money? It was good?
Yeah.
It was okay.
Thank you.
Below okay.
Thank you, gainfully employed person who's
Well- Yeah,
reasonable about.
Yeah.
Look, I know how to budget well, so to me it was a lot. I did a lot with that money.
Let me try to call Joe. I know he's traveling right now, so he may not
Do we
pick
need
up.
to talk to him? It's like, no.
I just want to hear him.
You just want to hear his voice.
When we say Rosenberg is the guest.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't even know?
No.
Oh, that's right. We didn't.
I'm annoyed with Joe right now.
And
I didn't talk to him.
filling in.
We didn't put it in our group chat either. You were texting me separately.
No,
That's right.
Joe, I've been irritated.
It
by
probably
Joe
made me
this
feel
whole-
really bad.
He probably won't pick up. He's traveling.
We can call Ty Dolla $ign. He'll pick up. Just kidding,
Your call
everybody.
has been forwarded to
Hang
an
up, pick up.
automatic.
Want to play a game? Let's call someone.
Do you want to play that game?
Yeah.
What game?
I don't have anyone to call though.
The call someone in your phone
Oh,
game?
we can call the guy that flew me out, see if he'd answer.
Try that. Do you want any more?
He won't answer.
You won't.
It's over.
I won't do it at all.
It is quiet for you.
No, actually, they text me since then.
Both of them.
Both who?
A and B?
Yeah, he wants a refund on his flight.
Yeah, A and B. Yeah.
They've both reached out to you.
Yep.
All right. Well, I
don't
think
know what
we're.
it is.
Is there anyone worthwhile for me to call?
I don't know. I don't know your
Call
address,
Kendrick.
No, I'm not wasting
Yeah, I know.
I'm not
I'm just
wasting that for your podcast.
I know.
I mean, it's our podcast.
Some fucking producer.
Full circle. Where the fuck is this thing I need?
Call Wale
Call
to
Wale.
confront Marissa.
Yes.
I'm deadly serious. I love Wale.
He might get
As a
mad.
person.
He might get mad though.
Who cares?
so?
Who gives a fuck if Wale gets
Well,
mad?
because he's my friend. I like Wale.
So he'll be over
I like
it.
you. I like Wale. Do you guys still haven't made up?
No, fuck that motherfucker.
That's not going to help the situation.
Can you not do that? If
No,
if we do this?
I would be civil.
No
Or
pun intended.
Karen.
Full. No, I don't want to blindside him.
Yeah, because
He's-
if you talk to him in advance,
listen, I love
suppose.
Wale. He's a sensitive guy.
He doesn't even
If I-
remember the exchange because
I know. If I blindside him and I did explain it, he'd be like, "Why the fuck are you calling me that?" He'd think I was calling to talk about wrestling,
Yeah.
and he'd be excited. He'd be like, "Yo," and then I'd be like,
Then
"So
we're
I'm
talking
here
about
with
this bitch.
Hey, remember that white bitch? She's here right now."
what you got to say to me, bruh? That wouldn't go over very well at all.
It'd be great radio.
It would be, it'd be compelling stuff. Or Wale,
Actually, I think I have his number. I'll just call him.
Wale and Joe are cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They saw each other last week.
Why he needs to come in?
He totally needs to come in.
Well, no, the Mahdi thing has probably been the reason why he hasn't.
Oh, he doesn't even know him on this podcast.
Well, no, we haven't asked him, but that would be the reason why we wouldn't. Just, I would love for that
You
to
know,
happen. I just don't know how.
I don't like beef and fighting with people. I wouldn't be a dick.
Well, no,
What's
if
beef?
Wale was aware of who you were with the tweet, he could be aware of the podcast as well. So if he would see that, he'd be like, "Fuck no." That's just what I was thinking.
Well,
But
I double dog dare you to come on, Wale.
Double dog dare.
I'm
Triple
sure
double
he's
dog dare.
terrified of you, Marissa.
No, but I would have a civil conversation. Maybe even get down to the meat.
Maybe
and
even get
potatoes
down?
of it.
Maybe even get
Yeah.
down?
Having it, yeah.
Get down with the get down.
I don't know what that means.
By the way, hold on. You know, I have one more thing to talk shit about Joe about.
Okay, well, you just keep on.
Correct me if
always
I'm
welcome.
wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Did you see Monday night, which was a big wrestling night because Shane McMahon came back to the WWE?
Oh my! He came back.
Okay, we're not going
Yeah,
to do this.
yeah,
We're not going to
yeah.
do this. We're
Here
not gonna
comes
talk
the
about
money.
wrestling.
I'm not
actually,
going to.
let me stop. I was being facetious. I
Okay.
don't know wrestling at
Okay,
all,
got
and
it.
I don't want to get killed by
Hold on.
all the wrestling
Hold your
fans.
thought. I just want to say this before I forget it. A, we can't forget to pick our sleeper song. By the way, you're going to have to pick one too.
Oh yeah, it's a great segment.
And then B, let's call Amber when you're done with this. That could be a person to call.
no. I love Amber, but don't we have to wrap up here anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do in a
I
minute.
mean, it doesn't matter.
What did you want to say about Joe?
Thank you. Was it out of nowhere to me that Joe just randomly was like, "Oh shit, Shane McMahon's back"?
He just did what I just did. He was being facetious and making fun of all you guys that are going ecstatic.
Was this
for
last night? Because all I saw on my fucking Twitter
You didn't get the
timeline
sarcasm?
was wrestling.
no.
I didn't see the tweet, but I'm sure he was. I mean, but it's Joe's Twitter.
I know. For some reason,
You love wrestling so much that you saw past Joe, who's sarcastic, every tweet.
Yes,
It's like,
exactly.
He could be serious.
And I was like, "Oh no!" I actually quoted. I went, "Oh, here he comes with the word." I was like, "Joe's trying to get into wrestling late. Look at you. Here you come."
snob.
You're right. I'm an asshole.
You are an idiot.
By the way, shout out to our friend Tavon, who we mentioned, who has amazing art and gear. MrSampson.com. Mr. SAMPSON.com.
I co-signed the plug.
Amber's going to be in Atlantic City this weekend.
I heard.
Are you going to hover over her?
I'm going to go with her.
Oh, no, she's
What did she say to poor Rev Run and Tyrese, who are just trying to help the young black youth?
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
B.
I don't know what happened. What's the story
She
there?
went on their show and they were just
I
basically,
didn't hear. I'm just being a
Oh,
dick.
they were basically saying like, oh, well, women should dress for how they want to be addressed. And then Amber was like, bruh, no. Fucking no means no. I don't give a fuck if I'm laying butt-ass naked next to you and you got a condom on. If I tell you no, you can't fucking try to penetrate me. Don't grab my ass when I walk by. Like, don't do that shit.
But they didn't argue that, did they?
No, at first they did. The fucking Rev Run fucking at first was like, no, you should
He
dress
caught
how you
mad
want to be
pleas on
addressed.
Twitter too. I didn't see what the conversation
You
was.
have fucking daughters that dress sexy, bro.
Yeah. Well,
By the way, real quick, sorry.
What?
Can you do me a favor, Marissa?
What?
You don't feed these stories to Laura.
I don't. Well, no one tells me to. Should I?
I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Laura does a great job, but she has her hands full. She has lots of other shit to do in dealing with Ebro. And naturally, gossip is not, I don't know if you guys know this about Laura Stiles. What makes Laura Stiles an amazing radio personality is that she's like completely honest and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'll get on the air and just talk shit to her and she'll say anything about her life. She'll say, I'm feeling fat. I need a boyfriend. She'll say anything. She's amazing. Gossip is not, she's not a fucking gossip whore. Not that you are.
Yeah,
but you have
I
your.
am a little bit of a gossip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, I didn't even hear about that story.
Yeah,
I would have
well-
loved to have talked about that.
Well, it's on Life is Tremendous.
We'll talk about it.
Well, then I'll tell Laura to start going to Life is
Well, first of
Tremendous
all-
every day.
While Amber is correct, if you are laying ass naked next to me on the bed,
Nope,
I should not have no right to penetrate you. But that's kind of a dick move. You're kind of an asshole.
I did that with one.
Like you're a dick.
I agree. Because if you're comfortable, listen, of course, we are both being clear. You don't have a right to do
No,
shit.
not at all.
But you might
you don't want to be an asshole.
But you're a fucking.
No,
what's the
you're
point?
obviously the asshole because you probably just talked your way out of the pussy in that exact moment. So you're the fucking dumbass because I was about to fuck you and you just fucked up.
That is a great point.
Well,
if
the
you
way
have a girl ass naked and you can't fuck her, that means you really did something repug at the last minute.
Yeah, because we all like sex.
Because there are a lot of girls who will fuck around with you and they'll like hug and kiss and blah 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 and won't let it go further than that. But if you get them
person B in LA.
But if you get them ass naked
after flying them out,
then it should go there. And if not, you are probably the asshole.
Yeah.
Hence person A.
And that's person A. Full circle, guys.
Full circle.
All right, what's the game you have to do? I'm going to get Mexican food.
Oh, can I come?
No.
I'm hungry. Who are you going with?
I mean, if you really want to come.
I really do want to come.
My wife and my brother.
Oh my God, yay! Me and Alexa never really have bonding
But
time.
I feel like you're going to ruin it.
I'm not going to be annoying.
I don't know.
I'm not going to be annoying.
Peter, guess what? I don't want to come. So
I'm confident that you wouldn't.
Did we not have fun every night in LA?
I always have fun
Nick,
with you.
Nick, our night always fun?
Nick is not paying attention.
He's not
Anyways, we have
What's
two
the
segments.
pickup song?
We have two segments that we added. One while Monty was gone with a friend of Juan Epstein, Billy June. He explained how he lost his virginity.
Okay.
Billy June.
Something tells me your losing your virginity story is not as great.
No, mine's like romantic.
I was going to say, you seem like it was like we'd been together since 8th grade.
It was in 9th grade. I was 14. It was the end of the year. It was my girlfriend who was so hot at the time. She was crushing it. And she was about to move. She left the country. And the night before she moved.
And she laid next to you naked.
And she let me penetrate.
All right.
It's not embarrassing.
Not good to episode 2 of our How You Lost Your Virginity. But
no, it's okay. Other people will deliver. I happen to be a pimp at 14.
Yeah.
I was struggling.
I lost mine at 14 as well, but I'm going to save that. That's a whole...
Oh, it's a debacle.
Oh, my God. It's horrible.
Okay. So what's the other question?
Mine wasn't a cool situation at all.
And
We're not
Joe's is
surprised.
hilarious, too. So I can't wait for Joe to tell his. The other segment is a sleeper song, which you'll love. A song that our audience typically would not know.
It's kind of like the top 5 at 5 or whatever we call that.
But
shit.
it's historical or right now?
Anytime.
Anything. Literally anything.
I mean,
now.
any genre?
anything
Any genre.
that you want to put people onto.
Oh,
We know you're going to do a Jay Dilla song.
no. I'm trying to decide how weird do you want me to go? Like not remotely hip hop and something I love?
Whatever you want.
Do you want me to? I'll give you 2. Okay.
That's not how this game works. But
If you want a current song that will never get out of your head again after the first time you listen to it,
Kidding.
DJ Khaled's artist Kent Jones.
I didn't know this guy existed. Never heard of him.
You've never heard of Kent Jones?
No.
Hold on.
Who?
I think I wrote down...
Get it? Because like Mike Jones.
Who? No.
Thank
The
you.
Kent Jones song. She be giving me that.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about Nick Grant.
It's
Nick Grant's
nothing
dope
like
too.
Ken Jones.
So I was watching BT Jams last night. This isn't my pick. Nick Grant, The Jungle is
Yeah.
a great fucking record.
Nick
So
Grant's.
that's-
I had to Shazam it because they wouldn't show the fucking
Shout out to Nick Grant. He's very talented.
title on the video. But okay,
So yeah, check out the Kent Jones record though. It's really good.
it's what's the title with?
Can you look? I think it's like "Don't Think" or "Think." I forget. It's really it's the first thing that comes
a record
up.
you don't even know.
I know. I forget names of songs these days. But great random song that I love and will love forever and ever. Let's go with Paul Simon.
Okay,
Hearts and Bones.
I like it.
Love song. It's a love song. It's a song about breaking up. It's about a married couple. It's about him actually and Carrie Fisher from Return of the Jedi. You know Carrie Fisher?
No.
Princess Leia, dude.
Oh yeah, I know her.
It's about their breakup when they got divorced, and it's like the story of them like traveling together and having these like fights that you can tell they've been having for like 10 years or 5 years right before they break up, and it's fucking amazing. He writes songs that I don't understand how you can tap into your creativity like that, and that's one of them.
And then she tried to kill John Belushi, and the story was over.
Exactly. Did you find the Kent Jones record?
I didn't.
Come on, man. I don't want to disrespect
Ken
him.
Jones. What? How did the melody go? Or
He be
lyric?
calling me,
My pick from 2
Well, I
weeks
can't
ago
type
was
that in.
was Nefta Farrell's Michael Jackson, which Pete actually then played on Real Late.
Got to tell you,
I liked it. I went back and listened to it.
I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of that song. Don't mind Kent Jones. Do you guys want to hear it for a second? Is that how this works?
Wait, can we go back to what we were just talking about though? And
I love the Nef the Pharaoh E40 song also.
thanks.
I'll say that. And in closing, where's the thing?
Well, we don't play the
We don't
records.
play, typically, we
Why
just put the
not?
We
links.
don't want SoundCloud to pull anything.
That's
They won't
yeah.
pull it this late.
I would love to add a little segment of
I play shit.
playing it.
I play.
All right, so then let's do that then.
That's not
That's
it.
not it.
Because if we could play it at the
No,
end.
no, no. Yeah, here's the one for this week, okay?
I
I'm
have
stealing
this
it.
song?
I'm stealing it. We don't need to play your Neff the Pharaoh, okay?
I'm going to play my fucking pick, dickweed.
Oh, we all do a pick?
Yeah.
No, not just you. It's lit.
It's so catchy. Listen, just don't even front on how catchy it is. And he's actually a pretty dope rapper, too.
You telling me this?
Oh, the wire's fucked up.
Telling me that? You say once you take me with you, I never go back. Now I got a lesson that I wanna teach. I'ma show you that where you from, no matter to me. She said, hola, como esta? She said, konnichiwa. She said, pardon my French. I said, bonjour, mara. Then she said, sabate.
All right, good luck getting that out of your head. It's
like that.
It's a dope song. By the way, this wire's kind of fucked up, so I wouldn't recommend playing music.
Oh, I'm going to play mine anyway.
But it sounded really terrible.
It doesn't matter. What am I going to just put mine next to the thing? Mine is Ratchety because it's actually called Ratchet.
Okay, of course it is.
And it's Machine Gun Kelly featuring his whole crew, which is Dubbo, Ray Jr., Tezo, and Pugetta.
What a surprise
what
pick from
is-
Marisa Mendez.
Wait, do you really just...
What?
Who are you playing?
MGK.
MGK. But
Come
it's
on,
literally,
dude.
it's one of
I love MGK.
It is
but-
one of my top, on iTunes, it's one of my top 25 most played songs of all time. And I've had iTunes since 2005. So that's how good this record is, in my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
This one's for the ratchet. Yeah. All my bitches. Ratchet.
It's a bit vulgar.
It's really nice, though. Beautiful words.
It's nice. Like a song your mom would have you listen to.
Act like you don't know what I need, bitch. Hennessy and this weed, bitch.
Jeez.
Act like I'm the police, bitch.
Drop down on your knees.
Act like
My
you
God.
know what I said, bitch.
Ass up with your legs split.
Dick all in your mouth. Talking about,
I don't usually give head.
bitch.
Jeez.
It is pretty good,
Oh
though.
my
It
God.
is good. And then the chorus is like, I need a ratchet bitch. I want a ratchet bitch. It's pretty great.
That is really touching.
So surprising
But actually,
that you
I
like that song.
I did like the record, though. All
Cleveland.
right, guys, I gotta go. Are you playing
right.
your song, too?
Yeah, well,
All right.
I was gonna do
It all
some
sounds
ratchet
kinda
shit,
nasty,
but
but-
for some reason you guys went ratchet back to
All right,
back.
good.
I knew
Well,
mine
no,
was-
mine wasn't ratchet. It was
Yeah.
commercial, though.
I'll do Ty Dolla
well,
Sign
I'm
next
2
week.
for 2 with the fans on Neo Soul, so I guess I'll just do 3 Neo Souls. I did Jesse Boykins, Come to My Room, and then I did Foreign Exchange Daykeeper last week.
Wow, look at you, diverse.
I'm a Neo Soul guy.
All right.
This record, a lot of you should know, but I feel like a lot of you don't. Let Us See in the Morning. No bitches, no sun.
But is he blacker than?
2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mid-range.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't.
Well, I don't know if we consider BJ the Chicago Kid Neo Soul. I don't, but that's
No,
close
it's just
now.
like good, dope
yeah,
R&B.
It's good. That's a great album. I think everyone should go out.
Yeah,
and
support
buy
that. It's really, really good.
And Resume, I think, is the best R&B song. I know it came out at the end of last year, but I still count it as a 2016.
It's very strong.
I think it's the best R&B song of 2016.
All right, guys, I'm starving. Goodbye.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. I don't
Get your
have
last
anything
word
else.
in.
I don't have anything.
What did you have?
I don't.
Do you really want to come to dinner?
I really do.